So like, she should have been able to hold her sit, right? But for whatever reason today, and we could take a million guesses as what it is, and it wouldn't matter, but for whatever reason, she's not doing well at that right now. So then we shrunk it back to, okay, we're just gonna take a couple steps away. Then we shrunk it back to hold the leash, take a couple steps away. Then we shrunk it back to just stand next to her and try it. And she still struggled with that, but now we're able to get success with it, right? So let's stay at this level of difficulty for right now, for whatever reason, and just get her good with that. And then next time we go somewhere and work with her, you can try to expand it again and again and again and kind of work your way up.
All right, so this is Porter. She came here with a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, aggression with new people. And so this first week, especially with the new board and trains, we always like to get them as comfortable as possible, you know, with the facility, with the staff, with the other dogs, with putting down some groundwork with our board and train training. So with her high anxiety, with new places and the crate and with new people and stuff, it's taken a lot to get her comfortable. So we've been really working on building her confidence up in this first week especially. So what we're kind of working on right now is just showing how we've been getting her more comfortable with coming out of the crate. So how we kind of work it is we let her go into the crate by herself. I have the lead on while she's kind of in there, just to kind of work through the session, and then just releasing her to let her come out on her own. The goal with this is to really be comfortable, or allowing her to be comfortable with kind of coming out on her own to build that confidence. And I have the lead on to kind of help assist her if I need to, but really allowing her to kind of try to do it on her own. Okay? So you can see she's a little nervous with coming out initially and everything, so just a couple reps of this can kind of help get them more in the zone. Okay. Nice. And so with that release, I'm not really giving her a command, but I'm more just letting her know that, you know, she's allowed to come out, she's free to come out. But because there's no command, there's no criteria. With her coming in and out, you know, that's totally fine for right now. I'm not really asking her to do anything, but allowing her to move freely in and out of that crate is what's really going to build her confidence in wanting to come out more freely. So that way, hopefully we can get to a point of just having that lead off and just opening that crate up and just calling her right out, and she comes right out on her own. Okay. So just some kind of words of encouragement more so. Ready? Okay. Now because of her anxiety, this seems to be kind of the biggest hurdle that we're working through right now in terms of doing that. Once she's out, she's relatively, you know, comfortable with everyone handling her. She has no problem with it. Even being around other dogs, she seems kind of fine. A little nervous, but much more open and confident than she was when she first came in. This seems to kind of still be our biggest hurdle, so this is what we've really been kind of setting some time aside to make sure that she still feels comfortable with this. So you can see she's starting to get more fluent with kind of going right in and then just coming right on out. Again, I'm not putting any tension necessarily on the lead. I'm just letting her kind of move freely in and out as she wants, allowing herself to become more comfortable with it. Good girl. And obviously she's not a very super jumpy, super outgoing personality, at least right now, and she's still pretty nervous. So just trying to encourage that out of her a little bit more, get her a little bit more open so she can feel more comfortable. tell by the camera she makes her a little nervous. But me and her, we've been able to kind of build a little bit of a relationship since she's been here, so she's been much more kind of comfortable with me handling her and everything now. Right? Still got some work to do though. Okay. And typically with the first week, this is pretty normal with a dog with her level of anxiety. You know, it's not a huge surprise to us. That's why we usually take that first week anyways to get them really comfortable with it. But as these next couple weeks kind of progress, obviously we'll have plenty of time to continue working on this, plenty of time to introduce her to new things, such as the camera, so that she can hopefully kind of overcome these little fears and not have to always live her life in kind of this anxiety or fear. Right? Okay. Good job, come on. Nice job. Come on. Good girl. That's a good girl. Okay. Do you want to go in the crate?
He's like, this is amazing.
I know, I'm like so nervous. He's doing great so far.
When's the last time we're having it all?
Oh yeah, I mean the first like 6 months we had him, he was always like always playing. And probably in nap time it was like once or twice like sniffed and that's bad.
Okay.
And then ever since like the next like I think the first 4 months this year he still just like it kept getting worse.
Kind of like as soon as the reacting or
Yeah, like
it he's on the playtime.
it was usually he would go play and then he would be fine and then he would like bark. So I'm like, oh no.
He probably, honestly, what you're describing is that he's fine.
Yeah.
He probably just got sick of the other dog, and now we're just gonna be like, I don't want to play with
Well,
him.
I guess yeah, it would be like I don't know, sometimes it would be up and down, sometimes it would be right over me. I guess it would also be like part of it was like they would come up to him before they would really let him off. They would like police go like I don't know, yeah, I guess both. There didn't really feel like a pattern. Yeah. Like it was
No, it was a
very
good pattern. There's one time we put in, and I thought it was fun, just with hand more, and then stop it. Really aggressive.
Yeah.
Another time it was like peanut butter balls was around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I was the big three thing, the reason why I said like petting baby dogs.
Yeah.
Whenever we socialize dogs, the big three things we don't want involved food,
Yeah.
because those can create a ton of competition.
Yeah.
So
The affection thing definitely
Definitely
caused it
affection.
once or twice.
I know that me giving affection to another dog would cause
Yep. Oh yeah.
very, very
Alright.
Okay.
over there next.
Well, that was good. That was good.
Well, this is interesting because he didn't do any of this with just you in here. So it's a you thing.
I think it usually happens with you.
It's happened a lot more with just me, but now that we're here, for sure.
But definitely, I think that, as I'm thinking back, it happens more so with her on a leash.
Okay. Yeah,
And it
that's
happens more so with me with affection.
Okay.
Like that dog, it may have even been the rubbing of me.
Yeah, just being close.
Yeah.
That was just him kind of like resource guarding you with your space.
Yeah.
And so telling the other dog to go away.
Yeah.
And so with the correction, now he's just gonna learn that he can't do that. That's unacceptable. And he's on just focus all the time.
Okay.
So anytime that we're doing social with dogs, we always have the collars just all the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because if I'm gonna correct for something, probably something that's like very serious.
Yeah.
We tend to let most stuff go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mounting, correction, stuff like that, as long as it's all appropriate communication, so that if I need to give a correction, it's really because of something that we can do to stop
Yeah.
it.
No, I'm actually happy that kind of happened just now because.
Yeah, that's the typical behavior that sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we try to just like disengage from the dogs as much as possible when they're
Yeah.
socializing,
Okay.
because as soon as you touch him or even talk to him in his case or stuff like that, you're like opening up that gateway of connection where he's like, oh, I'm with my person now,
Yeah.
they've acknowledged me, rather than just completely ignoring him, and that kind of disengages any of that like attachment.
Definitely given a lot of affection to several dogs and Bo
Yeah.
while playing and Seamus.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When you have a case where like, you know, the dogs live in the same house together and stuff like that, of course, like there's different ways that we would go about it, but if you're socializing him with strange dogs, it's just, we just don't do it.
Yeah.
No affection given or anything like that. Like even with my dogs, like I have 4 dogs,
Yeah.
and I very much am particular about like if I'm giving affection to one of my dogs, none of my other dogs are allowed to come up and solicit affection. Because that's a competition thing. It has nothing to do with them wanting to be pet by me, it's with them being like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Perfect park day, it's so nice.
Yeah,
out.
and it's so nice. I was like,
Oh, Bertha, golden hour. No one's perfect, Bertha. You're gonna get it. She said, wait, that was wrong. Yep, bring her right back. And what we'll do now is, since she's struggling with this, we're just gonna go like a couple feet away.
a little.
Yeah, we're gonna go a little bit away, let her get a success with it, and then we'll kind of build up from there. Just stop right there.
Nope.
Yeah, then go ahead, bring her right back.
She literally sits, doesn't move on our walks every day when we pick up her poop. This is
Fine. I wonder if, we'll wait till she gets in there. I wonder if, have you been doing like recalls out of your sits? Okay. So that's probably what's happening, is when we're stepping away and we're stopping, she's anticipating that you're gonna call her. So this is a good point where like if for whatever reason you run into, yep, where you're really struggling with something, and you know, after a number of corrections, she's still just like not getting it, you're not getting any success, always like take a step back to like an easier version of it, and try that. If you're still not getting success, we go to an easier version, keep trying that until we get to like a level where it's challenging, but it's still like attainable. Because if we get to a point where she's just failing over and over again, then it's really not going to do anything productive as far as like building her confidence of being able to succeed in those environments. So like she should have been able to hold her sit, right? But for whatever reason today, and we could take a million guesses as what it is and it wouldn't matter, but for whatever reason she's not doing well at that right now. So then we shrunk it back to, okay, we're just gonna take a couple steps away. Then we shrunk it back to hold the leash, take a couple steps away. Then we shrunk it back to just stand next to her and try it. And she still struggled with that, but now we're able to get success with it, right? So let's stay at this level of difficulty for right now, for whatever reason, and just get her good with that. And then next time we go somewhere and work with her, you can try to expand it again and again and again and kind of work your way up.
Okay. That's it.
Very nice. Okay. Oh, now she doesn't want to move. But, and I mean, ultimately, like long term,
Yeah.
I know that can be kind of defeating that was like how she did all But ultimately, long term, the whole goal of like doing training is not that the dog ends up perfect, but that you feel competent in knowing how to do it, you know, and how to address stuff like that when you have hiccups and issues. So, as long as you feel like, okay, if I run into that in the future, like I know what to do, and how to like fix it and build on it and make it better. That's really because we all have bad days. It's fine. I can't think. I'm just too tired after the walk. She said, it's like I blacked out for a second. I panicked and didn't know where I was. It was amazing to work with you.
Whichever room we go to, he wants to be there.
Yeah, just follows you
And
around.
not because he wants our attention, but he needs to be next to us.
Sure.
And then the first few times when we tried, in the crate or outside the crate, it was just barking. He didn't bite anything, chew anything, destroy anything.
Yeah,
but
just
barking,
nervous.
Barking, whining. But this was also a while back. I mean, he's
Sure.
grown up since then. I've grown up in a way where at least he knows what's around him now.
Sure.
Is more familiar. But otherwise, I mean, we go to this daycare close to our house.
Sure.
Where both at work.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he'll just go to daycare
Yeah,
if you.
daycare through the day and.
Okay.
So we haven't given it a long shot yet.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
2 hours at the most he's been alone.
Sure. Sure. And that's something that typically, like the separation anxiety that you're seeing, it can kind of develop. Some dogs just have a natural predisposition to it, depending on their genetics and stuff like that. But it also can definitely kind of be exacerbated by just not a lot of like structure or like intentional separation and alone time. So that's another good reason for the crate, is just getting him adapted and comfortable with, even if you guys are home, just putting him in there for periods during the day and getting him to understand that like he doesn't need to be glued to your side like every second and every moment. And there's different like crate drills that we can work on and stuff like that to help manage it when you're home, if he's barking or whatever, if you put him in there, things like that. Even having him sleep in the crate is a really good idea. And just starting to create a little bit more separation mentally and physically, so that way he can be left alone. Because the longer we allow him to kind of always be with someone or with something, the worse it's just gonna get the older that he is. And then, you know, that's how you get the dogs that like chew through drywall and like things like that when they're left alone. So we'll set up kind of like a good like plan procedure for you of like how many times to put him in the crate a day, for how long, and like all that kind of stuff too. What do you think? Delicious. So what we're gonna do is start to work on, his engagement as far as him being a little bit more aware of where I am and starting to care a little less about like his environment. So I'm gonna give him the little leash tugs. Good, to kind of keep him in my general vicinity. And then as he starts to move back into my space, did you find it? I'm just gonna give him a reward for that. There you go. When we turn, just like this. Good. Boy. So we start to kind of create a concept of like a zone of reinforcement where it's basically like he's learning. Good. The more that I stay in this area, the more that I get the good snacks. Good job, buddy. Good. Good. Very nice. Throughout the course of training, we're gonna develop some marker words. And what that means is basically certain words that are gonna identify when he's done the correct behavior and he's gonna get a reward. and then a word to identify when he's done something wrong and when there's going to be a correction for that. So right now I'm just kind of conditioning in the word good to mean that when I say it, good. That's marking a good behavior that he did, and now he should expect getting some food after that. Good, very nice. So that's kind of my whole goal with this exercise, is getting him to where I'm not having to use the leash anymore, that he's just naturally starting to pay a little bit more attention. Good. Very nice. And so the way we're using our leash during this is helping him understand that we'd like him to be a little bit more sensitive to leash pressure, and that if he hits the end of the leash, good, and he feels that pressure, instead of him pulling against it like he's been doing, we want him to yield to it and instead kind of come to the pressure. So pressure, and we release it. Good. As soon as he yields. So there should never be pressure on that leash for no reason, right? There's always a reason if there's pressure on that leash. Good. Good job, buddy. Well, we dropped some. There you go. Ideally, we're going to work on him, ultimate goal is him walking on our left side, kind of in this exact position. Good. Yeah. Good job, buddy. And when you guys have him out and about, I'm sure, since he's adorable, everybody is probably like, I want to pet the dog, right? And they make this huge big deal about it. You will be good. It will be the best thing you'll ever do for yourself and for him if you really start to restrict the amount of people that you allow to like interact and pet with him when you're out and about. Because if we start conditioning him to think, good, that every time we go out, it's to hang out with everybody else and everything else, you're gonna create a dog that doesn't care about you at all. And we want ourselves to be probably the most interesting thing that he's gonna come across on the walk. So that means we need to create value in him being with us, and we need to decrease the value that he gets from interacting with his environment. So, he said, that sounds terrible, honestly. Good boy. So basically, what that's gonna look like is when you take him out, if people are like, hey, can I pet your dog? You're gonna say, nope, I'm sorry, we're training right now. And especially if people have other dogs and they want him to meet their dog, definitely don't allow that when they're on leash either. Good. And even stuff like that, the little bit of barking and everything, that was likely because he's decided that he's over it. He'd rather just go back and hang out with you guys. And for the most part, if it's really mild like that, I'm just not even going to acknowledge it or address it at all. Good.
Yeah, typically barks for a chasing,
Yep. And most dogs figure out that that works really well, because they bark and then we look at them and we say, oh my gosh, what do you need? Do you need this? Do you need this? Do you need this? And we really start putting the power into their hands. Anytime I've raised my puppies, I really try to structure their day completely proactive so that I am really kind of manipulating every course of it, and I'm not waiting for them to give me cues and then I'm reacting to it. So it's like, for me, the default, so my most recent puppy that I had was my Chihuahua, and he's like a year and a half now. And typically for him, it's like his default was to be in the crate. And if he wasn't in the crate, I needed to have a good reason for it. So good reasons to not be in the crate are they're eating, they're going to the bathroom, they're doing a training session, they're going for a walk, you are doing intentional, purposeful, like teaching them how to settle and hang out with you in the evenings, you're playing with them. Anything else, they should just be in the crate. So you guys are sitting down to eat, good time to put them in the crate. You're doing laundry, in the crate. You're doing dishes, in the crate. Anything that does not directly affect the dog, just put them in the crate. And I swear just following that kind of procedure is gonna change a lot, because we're no longer living in a reactionary state where I'm trying to do laundry and now, oh my gosh, he's peeing on the floor. Or I'm trying to do laundry and now he's chewing on the curtains or whatever. And it adds a lot more structure to his day too, where everything is pre-planned for him and he's not having to kind of figure things out on his own. He's just like, oh, we're out here because we're going to the bathroom. We're out here because it's time to eat. I'm out here because we're going on a walk. You know, and it just kind of adds value to that. Good boy, come on. So that training collar can go on anytime you're gonna do a walk, or like our walking drills that we did, you're gonna do a session of your beds. So I would say keep his sessions like short and sweet. I wouldn't go above 15 minutes. So 5 to 15 minutes at the most. And just focus on one skill in a session. So if we're gonna work on the bed, we're only working on bed. If we're gonna work on our walking, we're only gonna work on our walking. It's just easier for them to isolate kind of one thing at a time and really get proficient at it. When you guys are living with him throughout the day, start to really try to keep in mind, like, is he out of the crate for a purpose right now? Or is he out just because we feel like he should be? And start shifting that frame, that mindset into crate is our default and what's our reason for having him out. Well, good job today, Whiskey. You gonna take a good nap, huh?